Hello, it's Jeanette with Geomazing Papercrafts. Thank you so much for joining me for another video tutorial. Today I have a kind of an old project with a new twist. And this is my little purse. And I showed you probably, I think it was last year, how to do this purse. But I had like a beaded handle on here. But I'm going to show you how to do this all in one topper for this little purse. And of course, you know, I'm going to change it up a little bit. This purse measures about 3 inches this way wide across. It measures about 1.5 inches this way. And let's see, with the handle, it's going to measure approximately 3 3/4 inches tall, depending on how tall you want to make your handle. And I am going to change it up a little bit using different DSP. This one is, I'm using the Affectionately Yours because it looks so wild and crazy here. And that has a lot of really pretty colors in it. I like that Daffodil Delight and the Night of Navy. But I'm going to be using some Cajun Craze for the cardstock. And I'm going to also be using some new cardstock that came out in June. It's called Moroccan. Now, I don't just like this paper. I love this paper. It makes me so happy when I look at it. There's so many beautiful designs, big and small designs, so that you can use these on cards and scrapbooks, and it's just so pretty. Every single design I am in love with. So I hope that you like it too when you purchase yours. Okay, so that's the Moroccan Designer Series paper. Now, I have already cut the topper out, but I'm going to need to do some changes with this, okay? Make some changes on it, and I'll show you how to do that. But with this, I cut out with the Lots of Labels framelit dies, okay? And you can just, all you're going to need for this topper is about 3 3/4 by 4 inches. Now, this is a little bit more than 4 inches, but I'm going to be trimming this in just a few minutes, okay? But this piece of cardstock is going to be for the bottom of the purse, and it measures 9.5 inches long by 4 1/4, so you'll be able to get 2 out of a piece of regular cardstock. So let's bring in the Simply Scored scoring tool, okay, and let me make sure I've got it so that you can see it without any glare. All right, now on the long side, I am going to score this at 1.5 inches. And then my next score line would be 4.5 inches, okay? And you're probably wondering, why do I do it more than once? I just feel a little comfortable making sure that score line is good. Okay, the next score line, okay, so that's 1.5, 4.5, and then the next score line is going to be at 6 inches, okay? And then the next score line will be at 9 inches, okay? And now you're going to turn it, and you're going to score this at 1.5 inches. Okay? And we're done with that. Now we're going to just go ahead and put together the bottom part, and then I'll show you what to do with the topper part of this. So, as usual, you're going to take your bone folder and burnish and fold and burnish all of your score lines. Okay, everything's burnished well. Now take your paper snips, and the rectangle that you don't need is this little one down here. So I am just going to snip that off just before the score line here, and I'm going to go ahead, I think you might be able to see it. I'm going to just go ahead and cut that completely off with that score line too. A bit more here. Okay. And now I am going to fold this and cut. You're going to be cutting these the shorter lines here. 1, 2, 3. So there'll be 3 cuts. And I like to fold and just do this little snip just up to that score line here. Okay. Okay. And one more. Okay, now let's put this little box together, and I'm going to use some fast fuse. Let me get out my silicone craft sheet. Okay, and we're just going to put some fast fuse on this tab that's sticking out here. And fold this over. All right, now this is the back, so we're going to put the two sides in, put the back in, and then put some more fast fuse on this part here. And now your box is put together. Okay. Now I didn't score the sides here because when I pinch in, you know, it's just going to go ahead and give me the lines I need. And just make sure you pinch it right so that the back and the front are lining up. And that's pretty much all you need. You really don't need any score lines in here. But if you want to put them, go ahead. Okay, now let's work on the top. This is just a little bit too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my trimmer, my Stampin' trimmer. Okay. Sorry about this glare over here. And I need this to be 3/4 of an inch, 3 3/4 of an inch long. So I'm going to just be cutting off this little tail back right here. So, but don't throw this away because you're going to be cutting out some circles out of that, okay? So this is all I need here for that. And then I am going to fold it in half. I don't know where that came from. Okay. I'm going to fold this in half like this. Okay, just make sure the edges are matching up, and we'll give this a little burnish. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my corner rounder, my 1/2-inch corner rounder, and you can use your Project Life corner rounder, and I'm just going to round these edges just so that they're not so blunt. Okay, and here we go. Now here's the fun part. I am going to be using the new Layering Circles framelit dies. Okay, I love that you have so many different options of layering these circles, because with punches, you know, you had to have these two clunky punches in order to make a layered tag. So with this, I just have this. I just absolutely love this. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to take this one here. Okay, you have two scallops collections here, and then two non-scallops. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. I'm going to be taking the second one from the outside because I want to make my handle just a little bit bigger than this handle here. Okay, and then for the inside, I'm going to also be using the bigger one here. You see you have a smaller circle and a bigger circle. I'm going to be taking the third one in, or the second one from the middle, and I'm going to be using that. Okay, so those two dies. And what I need to do is I need to take this and I need to kind of find where the middle is on this die. All right, and I'm going to need to use some tape once I find it. Okay, now you see where the score line is. That's my center for this die. So I'm just trying to find, oh, I think that's about right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and tape it like that. All right. Now I'm going to do partial die cutting. And if you've ever done partial die cutting, you know that you can't lay this whole thing down and take it through your big shot, because then it would cut the whole thing. I only want it to cut from here to there. So what I need to do is I need to bring in my plate. Okay, this is my magnetic platform. This is my cutting plate, which is very well loved. Okay, and then this is my top plate. Now I want you to look at these plates. Every one of these plates has a little beveled edge. You can see, you can tell where the bevel starts, because that's where the cutting ends. All these little cutting marks. So what you're going to do is you're going to lay your paper with that score line parallel to the edge of that beveled edge of your cutting plate. Okay, and once you get that straight, go ahead and put a piece of tape on it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of tape on both sides. Okay. And now I'm going to be putting the other plate on top like this, okay? And this is my magnetic platform, so this is my sandwich with this half of it sticking out because I don't want to cut that other half. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take this through my Big Shot, and I won't be bringing it in the camera because I don't have a whole lot of room for it. So I'll be right back when I cut that out. You see how I have that sandwich with half of it sticking out? Okay, be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, let me get the Scotch tape or this. This is actually removable or repositionable Scotch tape. Okay, so now I'm taking that off. Do you see how that made this little thing go up? Now I need to make the handle part of it. And for that, I need to do the exact same thing and position this. Now, it's not going to be at the halfway mark, but it'll be close. You want to just make sure you position it as the best you can. I'm going to go ahead and tape this on top here and put it right back in the same way I did before, right on the edge. Let me get rid of this die. Right on the edge of the bevel. You're going to have your score line for the paper on the edge of that bevel. Okay. Now, if you have a cutting machine that doesn't have the bevel, then you go ahead and take it to the edge of the cutting plate. Okay. So let's put this down here. I want to make sure. Oh, I want to tape that down. Of course I do, because you know it will jump on me. Let me grab this piece of tape here. Okay. Taping that down, putting the cutting plate on top, putting it on my magnetic platform. Now, if you don't have a magnetic platform, you'd have to use your tabs all the way closed on your Big Shot. Or if you're getting the new Big Shot, you'll have like plates. They'll have like different layering plates on it. But I don't have those yet, so maybe in my next video I'll have them. Gonna take it to the Big Shot now. Okay, here it is. Da, 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 da. Taking all the tape off of this very gently so I don't rip my paper. And now I have my topper. Isn't that cool? All right, so now we can adhere this like that. Isn't that neat? So now you have your handle, and you don't have to string beads in order to have a cute little handle. And it kind of does look like a little beaded handle. So here we go. We are going to go ahead and bring in the silicone craft sheet, and we're going to go ahead and put some fast fuse on this bottom part and this part here too. And closing this up, making sure I want the front. Let me see where's my front. Okay, this is my front. I want this in the front here. Okay. And it's not exactly 3 inches, this little topper, but it's very close. You probably have maybe a 32nd of an inch hanging off, okay, on each side, but it's still fine. All right, now we are going to close that little part down first. Okay, and then we're going to close this back part. So you have this little space here, but that doesn't look too bad. Actually does not look too bad. Okay, so let's get some magnets on here. I have these little rare earth magnets, or neodymium, I think that they're called, magnets, and these measure about 1/4 of an inch by 1/16 of an inch. I got these a long time ago, so I'm not exactly sure which Etsy seller I bought them from, but you can get them on Etsy, you can get them on Amazon, or maybe you can find a magnet store online that will sell them. Okay, so I need some glue dots to start with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1/2 inch circle punch, and that with that little piece of paper that was left over, I'm going to punch out 2 little circles. And that's all I need. It's just 2 little circles from there. And I'm going to be using my paper piercing tool to grab the little glue dots from here. I'm going to put the glue dot on the magnet to pick it up, and I'm going to start with the top part here. And I'm going to put that magnet right about here. Okay? And I'm going to press it so that it adheres really good. Okay? And then I'm going to take another glue dot. You will need several glue dots for this. And I'm going to put a glue dot right in the middle of that magnet. And then I'm going to take one of these little circles and I'm going to cover that magnet right there so you don't see it. All you see is that cute little design. Okay, and now let's line up this magnet. Ta-da! See, it lines right up. You want to make sure the polars are correct, so if you put it the other way, it'll never stick together. So this is the way you line it up. And then we're going to put a magnet on top of that. I mean, not a magnet, a glue dot on top of that. Okay, and now we're going to close this up. All right, and so it's closed now. All right, now we're going to open it back up. And we're going to put a glue dot on the magnet that's on the, you want to make sure that that magnet is really adhere. So kind of press it in, press that glue dot in. All right, now we're going to take another glue dot and we're going to put that over the magnet on the dot on the bottom side, and then put your other little piece of paper that's going to hide that magnet. Okay, and there we go. There's your little purse here. So let's do a little bit more decorating on here. On this one here, I used another new die, and I'm in love with this die, this whole set. It's called Flourish Thinlit Dies. Now, it does come in a bundle with a stamp set, but what I love is this trim part here, and that's how I made this. Okay, so I think I'm going to do it in vanilla, very vanilla. And in order for me to get it to stick really well, what I need to do is I need to put the tape on, or put the adhesive on first before I do the die cutting. Okay, and so how I did that is I used some tear and tape. All right, this is not difficult to do at all. If you're going to use some like sequin tape, the backer paper is a little thick, and you're going to have a little bit of a hard time doing this. I tried it with the sequin tape a little bit wider, but this tear and tape has a thinner backer paper, and you're able to cut through all these layers. So I'm going to just go ahead and put it right on the edge, right here, on a piece of very vanilla cardstock. And this is tear and tape, but I always like to cut it anyway. Now I'm going to put 2 strips, one right next to each other, right here. Now you can go ahead and use 3 strips if you want, but I found 2 strips is probably going to be just right for this. Okay, but you don't want to cut it with the tape on the tape side. You could, but what you want is to turn it over, and you're going to take that through to the Big Shot and run it through. And so what you'll have is once you get out all of your little pieces from the insides, is this right here with your tape on the back. And to peel that up, you just peel the backer tape off of it right here. See? All right. And now it's all sticky, and I'm going to go ahead and put that as close to center as I can, kind of on the bottom part. See if I can make sure to get it even. Okay. And then press that in. Okay. And I'm not going to wrap that around. I found that wrapping it around because of the concave right here, it doesn't really wrap around that good. But you can do that if you want to. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off on the edge right here. All right. Now, doesn't that look pretty? I absolutely love that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to do the bow. I'm going to do another video on how I did that scallop bow. But I think what I'm going to do is take one of these rimmed pearls, and maybe put one of the rimmed pearls, one of the big rimmed pearls right here in the center. Let's see how that looks. That doesn't look too bad. Or you can take a button or something, but I like these rimmed pearls because they have their own adhesive on here. All right, we're going to set that right here. And if you notice, the rimmed pearls actually have, they're metal, so they're going to stick to that magnet. So that's going to be kind of nice for you. All right, now let's put a little tag on here. Now this one I have for you, and that's also from a new die set and stamp set. This is called Banners for You, and the die that you can get as a bundle and save 10% is bunches of banner framelits. Okay, these coordinate together, and so I'm taking the For You from here, and I've got that already on my little block, and then I'm also going to take this little frame right here. I've got that on the block, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on very vanilla cardstock. Okay, and let's bring that in here. All right, and I'm going to use this little die to die cut it out just like I did before. Okay, there we go. Now let's do some stamping here. I am going to first stamp this one, and I'm going to be using some Cajun Craze. So move some of this stuff out of the way so it's not distracting. Okay, Cajun Craze. This is the there you go. All right, let's do this in Cajun Craze. Tap, tap, tap. I'm going to just go ahead and I love that it is a photopolymer stamps. You can see right through them. So I'm going to try to line this up. The For You, I'm going to try to line that up. If my head gets in the way, I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm going to take this to the Big Shot and just cut this out, and I will be right back. Okay, so here's my tag, and I'm just going to place that tag right here. Or, I don't know, if I maybe place it down here. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to place this tag. Probably here, because I want that little design to show up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some, I'm going to close this first so I don't get my thumbs in it. Okay. And I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to cut one of these dimensionals in half. Okay. Or use some of the pieces on the side, because it is kind of big. The Stampin' Dimensional is a little bit big for this little tag, so let's just cut some from the side, and we will take that off. Okay. And I think I'm just going to put that tag just a little bit above the pearl, like that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so however you want to decorate this, I'm sure you'll have your own little twist on this little purse. You see how the handle is just a little bit bigger? So I kind of like the bigger handle. Little handle's okay, but I like the bigger handle. Okay, so anyway, I do hope that you try this little project here. And if you need any of the tools or the supplies that I used in this video, please go to my website at www.geamazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. And if you want to join my team and sell some Stampin' Up! Products, just give me an email, and I can give you all the information that you need about becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator yourself. This is so much fun. I'm having the time of my life with Stampin' Up! And I know that if you're a paper crafter like I am, you would love it too. So once again, I am Jeanette with Geamazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.